So we're just going to do a bit of a exercise. So take a moment now just to walk around the room that you're in. Just take 10 seconds or so, get up from your computer, take a little walk around, and find an object that appeals to you. It might be something from nature, or it could be just something in the room that stands out and calls to you to pick it up. So just take a moment to do that now. Cool. And then once you're ready to go, I'm going to put a question into the chat room there, and I'm going to get you to reflect on that question and maybe write down or write back into the chat room, whatever works for you. What does this object or symbol that you've picked up just now tell you about the state of your health and well-being right now? So we're switching onto right brain here. What does this object tell you about the state of your health and well-being right now? And don't think about it too hard, just let it flow. Write it down or pop it into the chat room, whatever works. And when you're ready, you just put ready into the chat room and I'll know that you're done. Thanks, Megan. So if you're still reflecting on that, that's fine. But I'm going to chuck another question in now that relates to that. No, actually, take a look at that list. What stands out for you about the state of your health and well-being right now? What you've written down, and circle anything that stands out as being particularly important or to have particular meaning to you right now. And then an invitation to share that in the chat room. Cool. And now I'm going to ask you another question, because now we're going to just dig a little bit deeper into this and say, what are you actually doing magnificently right now with respect to your own health and well-being? So we often focus a lot on what we're not doing, but what are you doing really well for yourself right now to look after yourself, to nurture yourself? And again, if you want to pop things into the chat room, it's great. Awesome. Megan's going to the gym 3 days a week, consistently by the sound of it. That's awesome. up and down consistently. Actually, Suzanne from the also from our our e-course group on Facebook, she's joined the online gym with me, Nicola Riley's online gym, and she posted a question the other day asking other people something along the lines of how do they stick to what they're doing, what are their tips for staying focused and on track with their training. And I actually wrote a post saying I'm consistently falling off the wagon. It's just that I'm getting better at getting back on the wagon faster. So it's just acknowledging it, isn't it, that it does go up and down. That's great. Okay. So the next question then is to focus back on what we want to actually achieve, and ask ourselves, what are the barriers, if any, that are stopping you from achieving your optimum health and well-being right now? So this is a chance for you to brainstorm some of the barriers that are holding you back from achieving your optimum health and well-being. What do you feel is standing in your way right now from you achieving what you'd love to achieve in this space? And Ursula's saying that she's taking more time for herself and for her interests. That's awesome. I've been doing that too, Ursula, and it's such a great feeling, isn't it? And my little ones are getting a little bit older. I've got a little bit more independence back, and it's so exciting. Same for Megan. So brainstorm quickly the barriers. And then please share the barriers in the chat room if you don't mind, because I think this is something where we may have some things in common, or we might be able to learn from each other around some of these barriers, or just understand that other people are facing similar barriers, or maybe they're not. How are you going there, Heather? Can you hear everything okay? Okay, we've got, oh, here we go. There's a little
very
bit
busy
of a delay.
writing.
You're very busy writing. Okay, good, thank you. So Heather, aka Mark, after months of waiting, I finally have a date for surgery. Wow, which I believe is really going to be a big positive for me. Great. Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, that sounds like a big deal, Heather.
Yeah, it holds you back when you don't have 100% well-being. It's been really frustrating. So just maintaining everything that I possibly can, the best I can, but now it's going to be that much better given another 2.5 weeks.
Another barrier that's coming through is time. So Heather shared a physical barrier, and Megan's sharing that time barrier, which is common for so many of us. I'm just going to let those other barriers feed through, and we'll move on, because there's a little bit of a delay, and so I'm not sure how long the gap is between when I ask the questions and when they're coming through the chat room. So the next part, I'm actually going to try my screen share again, because we seem to be going okay, and we've got a lovely picture here to share. Okay. Okay, So what would you like to achieve in the coming 6 to 12 months regarding your own health, your balance, your energy, your spirit, your fitness? Put it all out there on paper. So this is about just really brainstorming. So these could be big things, they could be little things, they could be silly things, they could be fun things. Just let them roll out. Like thinking 6 to 12 months from now in an ideal world, what would you like to achieve? Get them all out there onto your piece of paper. This is really important stuff, so do take the time that you've created for yourself now to do this, because you will see the benefits in your business from taking this focus on time out for yourself. And you can see from that image there, Joe and I are your angels. When we had this designed, I was pregnant with Molly. So I've got a pregnant belly. That's me on the right and Joe on the left. So we're here to support you to bring this about. Just to lighten the load a little bit and check in with you and make sure that you are prioritising these things. Are the barriers first? Absolutely. Yes, it's a common one that comes up: overwhelm, procrastination. Yeah, we can't often blame our families, procrastination on our families, unfortunately. Some of the other things we can. Okay, cool. So keep those dreams and aspirations for your health coming, and when you've got a nice full page in front of you, just take a moment to reflect on what you've written and circle those ones that are standing out for you. Circle 2 or 3 of those things that you'd like to achieve around your health and well-being that are jumping off the page at you, that feel extra important or for some reason or another. And if you're looking for accountability, pop them in the chat room. Or otherwise, just pop into the chat room ready when you've finished, when you're ready to move on to the next part. Okay. This is where we set a milestone for your health and well-being. So just like we did with your business milestones, we're going to choose the one area that is going to have, that you want to focus on for the next 6 to 12 months around your health and well-being. So we're going to write another milestone statement or a goal statement. So think a little bit about that. And those things that you circled, is there 1 or 2 of those that you want to pull out into a milestone, or all 3 perhaps? And then we're actually going to write the milestone as well. And so this is just a reminder about writing milestones, to be specific, to make it measurable, achievable, relevant, and to put a deadline on it. Remember that relevance is really important. Why is this important? What is the impact that it's going to have on your life if you achieve this, and bringing that into your milestone? So I'll bring this up again, but I think we might have an example. Where's that? I'll bring the example up because I think those are quite useful for writing milestones. They just help you life example of SMART. Okay, so we are putting this into a health and well-being context, but this is a really great example of a milestone that's SMART and one that isn't. Cool. So yeah, let's craft your milestone statement, because if we know, we probably won't get around to doing it if we don't do it on the call. So if you're having any issues, just unmute yourself and ask me questions, or fire away in the chat room, and I'll check. But I'm just going to give you some quiet time now to write that milestone. And when you're done or ready to move on, please put yeehaw in the chat room. Okay, thanks Heather, you're good to go. So I'll keep moving forward, but feel free to keep plugging away at that. Heather, I'm assuming yours is going to have something to do with your recovery from your surgery, which is pretty exciting to think how things could look for you afterwards. So just ask yourself, Heather, and Ursula and Megan too, with that milestone that you've written down in front of you, just go through a mental checklist of have you ticked off each of these things.
I just saw your screen, which made me realise why you said AKA Mark before. Obviously, my son has been on my computer and I'm signed in under his account.
No problem.
Mark.
Cool. So do you think you've hit all those, have you made this a SMART goal, Heather?
Yes, I have.
Great. Okay. Awesome. So the next step is your supporting strategies. So if you've got your milestone, your health and wellbeing milestone, and again, if you feel comfortable and you want to make yourself accountable, then do chuck those in the chat room, or you can bring things to the Facebook group as well to get that group accountability. And now it's time to think about, well, how am I actually going to achieve this? What are the strategies? What are the day-to-day things I'm actually going to do to achieve my health and wellbeing milestone? So, you know, you could have less than 3, but probably not too many more than 3, otherwise things start to get a little bit complicated. So if there was one thing that you could do or put in place right now that was going to give you the best chance of achieving this milestone you've set for yourself, what would it be? And that's your number 1 strategy right there. What is the one thing that's going to have the biggest impact in terms of you achieving this strategy? I mean, achieving this milestone. And there may be another couple of 1 or 2 strategies that you feel are important as well for capturing, for being able to move towards this milestone in the next 6 to 12 months. And when you're done, put a smiley face in the chat room. Okay. Oh, these are great. These are just some things, some questions that Jo came up with when we did this workshop another time that really can just jog your mind a little bit about your strategy. So you'll really come up with something, but here's some things to think about how they apply to what you've come up with. And you may have already ticked these off, or you may already have considered them, but let's just run through them and see if it jogs anything else for you. So what are some of the routines or structures that you could put in place to support this milestone? What stepping stones could you place in there to help? Who could you ask for support? And how are you gently going to keep yourself on track? Is it going to be that you're going to use this group? Are you going to tell your partner about this and ask them to help you stay accountable? I know that one doesn't really work for me because I just get annoyed at my partner when he tries to chase me up on my health and fitness stuff, and it's not really fair on him. So I don't tend to use him for the health and fitness stuff. Poor man. And this is just about remembering that we often do prioritise ourselves last. And this has come up already on the call. I think that might have been Ursula that mentioned that. This is about putting ourselves first and honouring the importance of our own health and well-being, which is a really important end goal in itself, but it's also crucial to the success of your business and to you having a enjoyable or a joyful and fulfilling family life. Okay, so you might be having some more reflections there. And that's just capturing your milestone and the 3 strategies sitting underneath it. Here's the example. Oh, this is a milestone I had set for myself before Molly was born. And these were my 3 strategies. Oops. And we just chucked that in as an example. So by August 2013, I'll be feeling fabulous, fit, and fully recovered from the birth of baby number 2 in March. And it's really interesting to reflect back on this now, actually, because by August, I definitely don't think I had, manifested this intention. I think I was still learning a lot about juggling 2 babies instead of 1. But this was still, but I'm in a much better place with that now, which is interesting. And you can see that I've set some really clear strategies in place there. So I will set an ambitious post-birth health and fitness goal with my gym instructor and my midwife, and set aside money weekly to cover the costs of my exercise. I'll ask for help in advance, which I did. And I set a goal for myself to go to Brisbane and participate in the Stampede event with my mate Zoe. So I didn't end up doing that. I did go to Brisbane and have a great holiday with Zoe, but I didn't go in Stampede because that event actually didn't fit. But I did have a goal by then to run 5K, which I had done. And that's why I like to use the term intentions. I prefer that term to targets or goals because it acknowledges that things change with time. So I ended up joining Nicola Riley's online gym, and that's what I've used to help me achieve my health and fitness goals. And that's been fantastic. And it's different from the goal that I set myself there, but that's what it's all about. It's about the fact that life is flexible, things change, and so as you go along, your goals or your intentions shift and move with that. So the other question that is really important to ask ourselves when we set a goal like this is actually, what am I going to have to let go of if I want to bring this goal about? And this is about being brutally honest with yourself and saying, really, if I continue doing everything I'm doing right now, is it humanly possible for me to achieve this health and well-being goal? And if that's a no, if you are completely honest with yourself, and you can see that there's just no room in your timetable at the moment, or there's no mental space or emotional space left for you at the end of the day to be able to do these things you need to do, then you have to ask yourself that really difficult question, okay, what is it that I might need to let go of? So what can you take away from your week and this is particularly relevant for, I guess, mums with young children who are juggling a lot. You know, what is it that you need to let go of to be able to make this milestone achievable? This can be quite a tough question, but it's really important. And I'd be really interested to know if you think you need to let some things go in order to hit this goal you've just set for yourself. So if you could chuck in the chat room whether you think that you are yes, if you think you do have some things you need to let go of, that'd be interesting. Yes or no or maybe. Cool. Megan says no. Heather says I think so. Keep mulling it over, Heather, post-call. And remember, some things can go in the parking lot. You don't have to let them go completely. You can put that parking lot up on your wall, Ursula. And yeah, use it till its full effect. Come back to it later. Oh, maybe my own expectations of myself. Oh, yes, very true. That's a great one to be aware of. Okay, cool. So that's really great. Great work. I just really want to acknowledge that we've spent that time doing that, you know, setting that milestone for you. And so pat yourselves on the back and let's see how we go with it. We are going to check in with your business milestones and your health and balance milestones every month. So that is one great way that you can, you know, hold yourself accountable and make sure that you go away after the call and put those other ideas into practice, the ones that you've had there about how you're going to keep yourself on track with this.